So, Tom, what did you watch this week?
Jamie, I'm ashamed.
Uh-oh, what's this going?
I'm ashamed because I got a subscription service to watch a show.
Oh no, not a subscription set.
I got a
How?
subs
How
I got a
dare
s-
you? This is
I
not
got a
on.
subscript I got a subscription service. Well, we got Apple TV
Oh, okay.
because of two shows. So there's two shows that we wanted, and for the record, we're trying to minimize the amount of subscription services that we have, and primarily I'm trying to watch physical media. However, some things are, at least right now, only available on streaming. So we got Apple TV. Apple TV to watch Silo. There's the new season of Silo. I don't know if you're watching Silo.
Mm.
That just came out. I haven't watched it yet. But specifically, the show that I just watched was Widow's Bay. Have you heard of Widow's Bay, Jamie?
No, what's Widow's Bay?
So Widow's Bay, and I'm just going by their Wikipedia description. Widow's Bay is a comedy horror television series created by Katie Dippold, and it stars Matthew Rhys, Kate O'Flynn, Kevin Carroll, Dale Dickey, and Stephen Root. And it is basically, if I had to describe it, it's like it's basically as Stephen King a show as you can possibly get. But it's basically the mayor of this small New England fishing village kind of a place, like touristy village, kind of like Martha's Vineyard or Cape Cod or something. It's the mayor of this small little, I think it's supposed to be an island. It's a small little island off the coast of Massachusetts, I believe is where it is set. And he's trying to like revitalize the entire community and make it more of like a tourist destination. However, there is a curse on the island. He doesn't believe in the island's curse because he is not originally from the island. He met his wife, I believe, he's from Boston, so he's from Massachusetts. He met his wife, and without spoiling things, him and his wife had a child. They've settled on the island. He became mayor of the island, uncontested. They make a big thing to be like, he's like, I'm mayor uncontested of this tiny island. And it's basically him. It starts off with him trying to get tourists to come to the island. And everybody on the island is like, this is a bad idea. Don't bring people here. Like, don't bring, this is a horrible, horrible idea. And obviously, predictably disastrous consequences happen, especially after the tourists come to the island. Predictably disastrous things happen. It's really well done. It's really funny. It has scary moments. It's a comedy horror. It's really well acted, really well shot. This was a huge surprise for me that I liked the show so much. And I just saw a trailer for it and was like, oh, this seems interesting. It starts off a little slow, but once it gets going, it really, really, really starts to cook. It's very, very fun. And you'd recognize a lot of the actors. Like Matthew Rhys is from the show The Americans. Stephen Root is from, I believe he's from the show Barry and also the movie Office Space. He's been around forever. The movie Office Space. The writer and showrunner, Katie Dippold, I believe her name is, she wrote a bunch of, I think she wrote a bunch of Melissa McCarthy movies previously. But like a pretty, she's written a lot of like big comedy movies. I think that this is her first foray into kind of like horror. But watching it, they even do a lot of Stephen King references. Like there's like a box of books shown at one point, and they're all Stephen King books. And like setting this in New England, it's obviously like Stephen King inspired. It's really, really, really fun, and I highly encourage. Listen, I'm not telling anybody out there to get any subscription services.
Uh-oh. There he goes.
I've minimized our subscriptions. We're trying to not have very many, if any at all. But Apple TV got us. They
got
we
you.
saw the trailer. We saw the trailer for this, and previously we really liked the show Silo, which is an Apple TV original, and that has a new season coming out, like I've previously mentioned. But Widow's Bay, very, very fun. Had a few good, genuine scares in it. But yeah, good horror comedy series. It was really, really fun.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the best thing. That's what you've got to do sometimes when it comes to streaming services. You pick and choose which ones to get here and there. I think that's the best way around it. You leave for a few months or even a year, and then you come back, catch up on all the stuff that you haven't seen, especially if you've seen something new that you're kind of interested in. I think that's just the only way around it because not everything is on DVD. And the
Hmm.
fact that it's Stephen King, that's always going to win over. And to be fair, I feel like Apple TV has been the best place for like movies and shows recently. Isn't that's what literally where Pluribus came from?
I think
Severance.
that there's just
They've
like
been
I
the
think
better
yeah,
shows recently. I think they have literally. I think it's because they
yeah.
know that they're in competition with big companies that have been in here for ages. So they are
Mhm.
just like, hey, famous creators, directors, here's all the money and you can do whatever you want. Because they gave it to obviously Ben Stiller for Severance. Didn't they pay something
Yeah, I
like
was gonna
200
say.
million to like, was it Martin Scorsese? I swear there was a movie he made that was like a ridiculous amount of movie and amount of money, and it was just made for Apple TV. Or I think it went in, maybe it went in the cinema, but it
Was
cost
it
like,
was it Killers of the Flower Moon?
that's the one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was,
Yeah.
didn't that
It
have
does
like an
seem
insane
like
amount of budget?
well, Apple, like, of course they have the budget.
Yeah, exactly.
Um
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say Apple TV with like, with Widow's Bay, with Pluribus, with Severance, with all of their movies, it does seem like they are making a lot of like they're making better quality original shows, I think, than like Hulu and like Netflix and like all of those other platforms currently. I think that the other platforms just got a little too big for their britches. And like
Yeah.
they built up a catalog, and I really don't like I feel like they've dropped, which is why I've started to really move away from those streaming platforms. They've raised their prices. I think Apple TV is cheap too. I think it was like $7.99.
I'm pretty
It was
sure,
pretty
yeah. It's not bad.
it
It's
was
not
pretty
much.
it was pretty, and like just to get it to like watch these shows, it was like pretty cheap. But things like Netflix is like that really turned us off. It was like $20 a month. It's like Hulu's like $20 a month. HBO Max is like $20 a month. And I feel like they're not delivering like they used to. I feel like these platforms, I think that they've released a lot of stuff that's been a letdown. But yeah, Widow's Bay, it was a very it was a pleasant surprise. If you like Stephen King inspired stuff, it's very, very good. It's very, very fun. It's super well. I think it's just really well done. And I'm told that they're doing a season 2. They set up a whole like
Oh,
mystery. They set up a whole arc for a season 2, and I'm actually really looking forward to it. It's very,
getting
very fun.
season 2 as well. What would you give the pizza score? What's your, how many?
If I had to if I had to give this, so on our rating system, we're doing slices of pizza, and then like, that would equate out to an entire pie. This one gets an entire pie, an entire
Ooh.
whole pizza, plus a side salad.
Oh, what kind of pizza though? What you got for this?
I'm gonna say just a cheese because it starts a little slow, but then it gets very,
Ooh,
very good. But the first,
okay.
I think that they really wanted to try, like, it starts off as a bit of a slow burn. I think they
Mm-hmm.
wanted to like they wanted to hook you with a mystery. And I didn't really realize that going into it, but they kind of hook you with the mystery, and then it gets more and more absurd. And like
Okay.
it does get crazier as it goes on. And they set up some like actual, comedic moments in the show.
Yeah.
It does start off a little slow. Even the first episode, I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'm not sure. But then I stuck through it. And by the second episode, I was like, all right, I see where they're going with this. But I think it took them a moment to find their footing.
Okay, I see that.
But then it does get very good as it progresses. I think it's got 10 episodes. Um and I'm told that they just released like a bonus thing. I need to watch it. But I'm told that, or I read a thing that they just released a bonus thing, which is literally like, from what I read, it's literally like people from town like sitting on a bench. And it's like an hour of just like random like
Ah,
extra stuff that they put in. So very, very fun. Widow's Bay, Apple TV, very, very fun. An entire cheese pizza plus a side salad.
and a
What
side
did
salad as well.
what did you watch last week?
I watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Haven't seen
Ah,
this one before, so it has been on my watch list. Have you seen it before, Tom?
I have many, many years ago. It's a very sad movie.
It is a very sad movie, but I've always heard it's kind of the reason why I put it off for so long because I always heard very sad things about it. I don't usually
Mm.
like watching the sad movies, but every on occasion I'm like, you know what, screw it, let's go for it. I managed to get it on DVD, so I was like, you know what, let's give it a go, give it a try,
Mm.
and love the concept. Really like the concept of having obviously, I guess for anyone who hasn't seen it, I assume most people who are in this area have probably seen something like it.
I think
Um,
maybe the younger people haven't, because this was
Younger
and
people
just
maybe, but I was more thinking. I think people tuning in probably are like
I
more
think
movie buffs and who will
yeah,
have seen it because it is quite well known in
yeah.
that space. But just on the off chance that there, if it is younger people that have not seen it, it follows an individual who has found out, gone through a breakup, and figured out that their ex no longer remembers them because she used a mysterious device that wiped him from her memories. And when he figures out where it came from, he decides to do the same. And the entire movie is from within his mind, going through all the memories from his ex. And the worst and most heartbreaking thing about the whole thing is that halfway through, he realizes he still loves her and he spends the rest of the movie fighting to keep the memories in his mind as they slowly fade away around him. And I think obviously that the brilliant thing about a thing going on in people's minds, even before we filmed this, we were talking about shows we might make and things and how we would do a little bit of psychology and playing around with mind stuff. And this movie kind of does that very thing where, you know, certain things don't seem right or they might cut backwards and forwards. They transition from one scene to another by just walking through a door. It feels very dreamlike while he's trying to figure out what's going on and stop it. And I've talked about this before with many other people. You know, the fear that at one point in all of our lives we are going to start forgetting our most cherished
Right.
memories. There's going to be an age where we won't remember most things, and some of that might be due to dementia or other things. And so, to watch a movie where someone on an impulse chose to get rid of memories is obviously heartbreaking when you watch him realize it was a terrible decision. Very heartbreaking movie, but I did love it. I did really enjoy it. Such a great
It's a
concept.
good one, yeah. I was gonna say, when you started talking about this was from that period of time where I think a lot of people discount Jim Carrey as an actor, but like
Mm,
I was in high school, I think, when this movie came out, and this was like Jim Carrey did Truman Show, he
yeah,
did Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. He did a horror movie, which I actually really liked. He did a horror movie called The Number 23, I think was the name of the movie.
yeah, yeah.
He did, I think there's another movie called The Majestic that he did, which was like another drama movie. This was like he did Man on the Moon, the Andy
He
Kaufman
did.
biopic.
Yes, saw that one as well.
This was like he was on an absolute like tier as a dramatic actor, and
Yeah,
he's really good.
he
And
is.
it's sad that I mean, he's a comedian, right? So like I think and I know that after the Andy Kaufman movie, he had some kind, and I think his fiance wife passed. I think he had like a
Yeah,
breakdown of some
he,
kind.
that was a little bit later on, but yeah, like you said with him being a comedian, I think he was a comedian first, and then did
He
the
was, yeah.
Truman Show and the Eternal Sunshine stuff, and that just seems to be the way comedians go. Like Bryan Cranston did a similar thing. Obviously, he was in
Mhm.
Malcolm in the Middle, and then he decided to do Breaking Bad, which no one was expecting to do. Robin
Or
Williams did a few as well. It's just like,
Adam Sandler.
yeah, Adam Sandler also did another thing. Yeah,
That's another. I mean, I'm sure we'll end up talking about that on a future episode, but like
sure.
some of my favorite movies are like you think of Adam Sandler as like, you know, Happy Gilmore, what was that movie, Jack and Jill, like
Yeah,
he's
Jack
done
and
like
Jill,
this,
the 51st
but then
dates or whatever it was, or something like
50
that.
First Dates, but then he's in a
50
movie like
dates.
He's in Uncut Gems, which is like an unbelievable performance
It's
and like a
crazy. I had anxiety for
fantastic
like
movie.
3 hours or however long that film was. It's
Right,
just
but
panic
like
attack the movie.
I think a lot of these comedians are like they can be unbelievable dramatic actors
Mm.
if given the opportunity. And I think that like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, it showcases Jim Carrey at like his absolute peak as like a dramatic actor.
Jim Carrey, yeah, absolutely so underrated as a serious actor. It is just crazy.
Mhm.
Obviously, he gets his appreciation for obviously his performances and his more comedic stuff. But yeah, because with this and the Truman Show, like those are like Truman Show is obviously one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah,
It
it's
just
great.
and it's because of his performance in it and stuff like that, and the fact he picks things like that later on, and yeah, just
And
it's
then he retires unless they do another Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
yeah,
And it's like,
exactly. That's what I was just about to say. I was like, oh no,
Jim,
it's like he's doing Sonic the
yeah.
Hedgehog now. It's just crazy. But
I mean,
yeah,
I think he's an example of he got out of Hollywood. He didn't really want to be in. I think he just doesn't
yeah,
want to be in the Hollywood system
I think
anymore.
yeah,
And I think that they offered him this role. They offered him the Sonic the Hedgehog. I
yeah.
think that they offered him a lot of money. They said you can just kind of be crazy. This is like a low commitment role, and I think he's good as Dr. Robotnik.
Oh yeah, sure.
But I think he's just done with Hollywood, which is he's a good actor. It's sad.
Yeah, I totally understand that though, because yeah, it is just a messed up world, and he will have been in like the thick of half of it as well when he was there. I remember there's that famous scene, isn't it, where at the is it the Oscars or something like that, or the Golden Globes, where he obviously there's that guy that's kind of essaying, I think, a woman on stage, and Jim Carrey sees it, and
Oh,
then he goes
yeah,
up and
that's
just gives him a big kiss. He just sees it
that
like,
was it was Chris Isaac. I think it was Chris Isaac to Cameron Diaz, right?
yeah, yeah, that was it. Yeah, yeah.
That
It
was
was just
Chris Isaac is it's so weird. Like he's Chris Isaac, if you don't know who that, I think it was, and anybody in the comments you can correct me. I think that
yeah.
scene was Chris Isaac, and I think it was Cameron Diaz. Chris Isaac is a singer. He's a like a country singer, but then he was in Twin Peaks, and then
Mm.
he was also in the space movie The Right Stuff. So he had like a little bit of a career, but also did he's a major part of the soundtrack to one of your favorite movies, Scream.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think his song, so one
Oh,
of his songs was used there. But yeah,
yeah,
like
that's
Jim Carrey
crazy.
very got involved in that. Like I mean, called that out rightfully so.
But yeah,
But
it
yeah,
makes you
like
wonder as well. Like, he's probably seen a ton of that, and that's probably what made him
yeah,
like, I'm done. I'm done with this place. I really don't want to be
I think
here.
he was
This
done. Yeah, stuff like that. I think he was like, I'm. Well, he also is. He got into art.
he did. He
Like
paints a lot,
he had
doesn't
like
he?
had a painting studio. I think he just
Yeah.
wanted the quiet life. He didn't want to be part of like this like crazy Hollywood system anymore.
Yeah, I think that's why he probably ended up started to take more serious roles as well towards the end. He was got that feeling to just do some of those final bits, and then yeah, and then finish it off. But yeah, absolutely heartbreaking movie. Really, really liked it. Obviously, if you've not seen it, recommend it. But I
It's a
assume
good
most
one.
people have seen it that are watching this. But yeah, I give it a full pizza. I give it a full.
Ooh.
I give it a full chocolate pizza, because if you eat that pizza, you will regret it afterwards, just like he would regret raising his memories. So that's
Yep.
that's
There's
what
a
I give
few
that review.
I think there's a few movies like that. I think of that as the first movie that jumps to my mind to get the chocolate pizza of like movies that were very good, but you're instantly going to regret watching this was
Yeah, yeah.
Requiem for a Dream.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
That's like a oof. That was a good
Ooh.
movie, but I wish
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
wish I
watch
did see
this.
that. Yeah.
And if you've seen
There's a
Requiem for a
few.
Dream, you know exactly what
Mm.
scenes I'm talking about. There's some bad ones in that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much like those. But yeah, there we go. Well, thank you very much everyone for watching. We'll see you
Thank you,
in another
everybody.
video. Bye bye bye.